Right, what a lovely day to learn some history. If I told you that behind me, at the bottom of that hill over there, a queen's insides and entrails, possibly even her heart, are buried down there in that field, you probably wouldn't believe me. It's crazy, and that's what's strange about England. You're never too far away from something bonkers and also quite bizarre. I hope the wind's not too bad, by the way. I'm stood on the former site of Fotheringhay Castle, and there was, years ago, a huge stone keep castle that was here, surrounded by imposing and impenetrable stone walls, kept safe by guards over there in a guard tower. But today, that could not be further from reality, as today there's just some grassy embankments, a beautiful river, and a tiny piece of masonry from the castle that once stood. And the only people that inhabit this land today are sheep, who have somewhat disappeared at the moment. And they have more of a right to be here than I probably do, as their ancestors probably roamed all these fields around me in the same way that they do today. If you ever are in the area, do come here, it's beautiful. It was here where one of the most harrowing executions in England's dark history took place, as Queen Elizabeth I, the final Tudor queen and monarch, ordered her cousin Mary Queen of Scots to be dispatched by an axeman. Mary had been held by Elizabeth I in various castles and large stately homes for around 17 years as a prisoner, and over time she had been involved in a number of treasonous plots against the Tudor Queen Elizabeth. Mary was complicit in something called the Babington plot, which aimed to assassinate Elizabeth I and then replace her with Mary as the Queen of England, Mary being a Catholic. Mary knew about this and even consented to her involvement, and after this was discovered, she was tried within the Great Hall of Fotheringhay Castle, in a building literally at the bottom of that hill right there. Now obviously the Great Hall today doesn't stand, neither does most of the castle, but inside of that room down there, Mary Queen of Scots, the Scottish Queen, was sentenced to death for treason. Elizabeth I eventually ordered her cousin Mary's execution, which took place also in the Great Hall. There were many witnesses and things that went very wrong though. It took 2 swings of the axe to take Mary's head clean off, and then the executioner then had to use his weapon to saw through the final pieces of her neck. It was a complete bloodbath, and then when the executioner held her head up to the crowd, he then dropped it. Mary had been wearing a wig, and this slipped, and the Scottish Queen's head struck the floor and then began to roll around all on the scaffold. It's mad to think that that took place here, a very peaceful little village. It was all rather inhumane and uncouth, especially for a queen. Elizabeth I hated this news when she was informed, and she even threw one of her advisors in the Tower of London, as she thought ordering the execution could have even stopped her later getting into heaven. Because she was so upset, she even refused to sort out plans for Mary's burial, and her corpse was packed away in a coffin, literally where I'm stood. And she was embalmed, left here in the presence chamber inside the keep at the top of the hill, the Mott. So literally where I'm standing, Mary Queen of Scots was left in a coffin. But there was some part of Mary that was buried. Her heart and entrails, such as her intestines and bowels, were removed after her execution. The physicians cut into her body and removed them, including even her heart. Embalming and this behaviour was normal at the time for royal burials, but the internal viscera and organs were then placed inside of a casket or a container. They were, it's believed, taken out of the castle here, walked down the steps of the castle into the inner bailey, right down there, and they were then, allegedly, near to the Great Hall, where she lost her head, buried. These internal organs, her heart, have never been found, and the organs of the Scottish Queen may still be there today. That's what's mad about history in this pleasant and beautiful country. In a city close to here, a king was found discovered under a car park over 500 years after his death, and Mary Queen of Scots' internal organs may just be found deep under the ground inside of what today is a sheep field. What a lovely place. I've been here many times before and it's just stunning. It's a beautiful river, the River Nen that runs past, and yeah, it's crazy to think what was here. You can see the outline of the walls, you can see, yeah, a lot of the earthworks and so on. But down there, Mary Queen of Scots would have been executed. Mad.